Hey guys, Sebastian here again. This is going to be chapter 8. This is the 8th part of my story. Again, my intention here was to kind of go a little bit more in depth than I did in the last video that I did, which was about 30 minutes, but it's just very quick. This one I'm going to talk about my new discovery when it came to like science and alternative medicine and something called functional medicine, something that some of you guys might already be familiar with. But this was pretty much when I kind of had like my big breakthrough in understanding what was up. So like I said before, I was at this place where I was doing the vegan diet. I was still very, not feeling very good. I felt like I started going downhill, and I did. And, I said, I really need to understand why I'm feeling this way. I ended up, at the time, I was like super scared to eat meat because I had a really hard time digesting it. And I was really scared about it. I was like, no, every time I would eat meat, I would feel very sick. And I had this doctor in Marco Island. His name is Dr. Gutierrez. I was really desperate. I was really sick. I mean, I still felt very sick, and I was like, I need to find somebody who can help me. I found online that this guy kind of was an alternative. He was a chiropractor / alternative healer when it came more on the medicine side. And I spoke with him, and I pretty much told him everything. And he, for the first time ever, he asked me like my background, where I came from, what I did for work, all these things. And he pretty much told me, dude, you need to start eating meat because your body is not meant to digest seeds and all these vegetables, because there's just not enough nutrients in this type of foods. And especially if you're, not doing very good health-wise, the last thing you want to do is eat that many vegetables. He's like, eat them, but not too much. Put meat in your diet. And obviously I was like, oh my God, let's try it out. After being vegan for like 3 to 4 months, it was a while that I was vegan, fully like raw vegan. Like I started eating meat, and immediately I felt a huge difference. By this point, I already started like studying a lot about nutrition, the importance of vitamins. I was, again, eating books and going online, watching videos, seminars, anything you can possibly imagine. I was just eating it up. And I decided to start supplementing with vitamins. But then again, every time I would eat any of these supplements, my body would just not like it at all. And it would just stop. Like, again, I would be going, my body would not like it. By this point, I still had the tremors. Not as much as I did in the first like 3 to 6 months, 3, 4, 5 months. I guess 6 months is when it started fading off slowly. But by that point already, I had the tremors were a little bit not as intense, and the twitches. So at this point, I kind of knew that I was gonna live, obviously, and I just needed to keep working on it. After eating meat, I started feeling sensation of more energy. Again, throughout this time, I was doing a lot of like qigong and like these movements of the body. But every time I would do these movements, I would not feel very good. Later, I found out that a lot of that was, I think my body had stored all these toxins in my muscles and in my body, that every time I made some sort of move, it would like release them, and then my body would just become overwhelmed. But I learned this later on. And yeah, with this doctor, I got introduced to like alternative functional medicine, I guess. Again, finally, about like a year and a half in, I started watching this guy on YouTube. His name was Evan Brand, and there was this other guy, I forgot, Dr. Justin Marchegiani or something like that. And these doctors were just on point on everything that they were saying. Like, they were literally describing the exact same thing that I was going through. Maybe not the exact same way, but like very similar. And I was like, I'm just gonna eat all this information up. I literally spent all this time just soaking it all in and understanding, a different type of medicine. And I decided to contact them. At the time I was already working. I was able to stand up. Again, I had pains in my legs here and there. But I was like I was in a better shape. And I was a little bit, at the time I was in better shape. And then at the time I said, you know what, I'm going to contact them. I want to see what's up. Because I felt again stuck. I was kind of stuck. It had been almost a year and a few months, and I was stuck still. I mean, not as bad as I was a year before at all. I could able to stop and see the progress. So you know, I was walking again. By this point, I already like, you know, I can walk long distances. I was moving my arms up again. That was a whole thing. You know, retraining my body how to like again do all this. And you know, they told me, hey man, like first of all, you need a test. You need special tests. And I was like, I agree with you. Like, give me what you got. And they gave me a test of, it's called the organic acids test and the a DNA stool test. This test pretty much kind of give you a whole picture of what was really wrong with your body bacterial wise. So they sent me the test. It took about like 3 weeks for them to get done because it's all done through private labs. No insurance covers this, obviously. Super like, you know, low key. I don't think many people even heard about this unless you're in the medical field, really in it. And the test came back and I was a mess. You know, I was a complete mess. I had like 7 or 8 bacterial infections. I had C. diff, type A, type B. Had like some sort of like tuberculosis bacteria. I was like, what the hell? I had staph, obviously staph was still there, the MRSA staph. I had E. coli or something. I mean, I was a disaster, literally. And I mean, my organics acid test that kind of like shows you your B vitamin levels, which are responsible for you able to detox. One of the things responsible for it, obviously there's a lot of things. The B vitamins were completely in the bottom. They were all on the left, completely zero. My neurotransmitter levels that keep my mood regulated the ratios were completely off. My liver, my methylation, my liver was just gone. It was non-existent. My oxalate levels, you know, what causes kidney stones were off the charts. They literally went off the paper. I was like, holy crap. And pretty much I realized that I was completely toxic, you know, and that's the reason why I was feeling the way I was feeling. So these people put me through a complete like workout plan, as in like, you know, this is what you got to eat. I had to change my relationship with food. I literally, every time I would eat, I would just eat one, like just a plain piece of meat or plain piece of bread, whatever. And I would have to pretty much sit down and like wait to see how my body felt. And I did that for a while. And I started understanding what foods worked and what didn't for me. It was a long process, a very long process. I mean, I still do it to this day. Something that I do when I try foods that I haven't tried in a while. I'm like, all right, let's try this. How do I feel? Okay, yeah, this doesn't work. All right. Now it's like more of a normal thing to me, but I you know, it's not like, but back then it was really crazy because again, you got to keep in mind that the world didn't stop because I got sick. The world just kept going. So my family was still eating mashed potatoes and pizza and hot dogs and all this food. You know, on Thanksgiving, everybody's eating corn casserole, and I just sat there and not eating pretty much anything. It was super hard. You know, in work events, everybody be eating, like drinking beer and alcohol and all these foods, and you're just sitting there just looking at everybody eat. That's another thing that was huge for me. It was so hard not being able to share anything. I felt extremely isolated and extremely alone in that situation. But hey, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, huh? It is what it is. And that was really hard too. That was something that I forgot to mention. I guess it doesn't bother me anymore. It is what it is, but you know, what can you do? And so yeah, what I was saying before was, I got off track here. What I was saying before is I just start changing my relationship with food. And that I really learned a lot like that. I really learned a lot, this specific thing, you know, and so this is what got me there, as in like, I understood now what I had, which was a complete imbalance of chemicals in my body. A complete bacteria was eating me from the inside, literally, because you could actually see the bacteria. I mean, thankfully it's not here anymore, but I have pictures where you could see like patches of the bacteria kind of like eating me from the inside, which was insane. And this bacteria was also causing my brain not to function properly, making me have all these anxiety, this depression, again, because the body's not functioning properly. the gut is not making the chemicals that it needs for me to feel happy and feel focused. So this was the beginning of I mean, to me, this was a relief because for the first time ever, I had a paper that showed everything that was wrong with me. And it made sense. Like the whole story completely made sense. I was like, okay, this links everything. Everything that I've been studying is paying off. This was about a year and a half. Obviously, I was super happy. I mean, I knew the journey was going to still be long, but I already had something in my mind where I was in my hands. I mean, where I was like, okay, this is what's going to take me to the next level. Again, this is super expensive. My dad pretty much paid for everything because I had no money at this point. It's completely broke. That's something, again, that was super freaking difficult because having no money at all and you living off your parents at 25, 26, and, you know, like you're freaking disabled and you can't, you know, you just have to figure it out. And that's another lesson I learned. You have to freaking figure it out. You know, I think this is why to me now, I'm like, I'll figure it out because you just have to. There's no other way around it, you know. And thankfully, we had the internet, and C-19 hadn't happened yet. Man, if that would have happened with C-19, holy crap, it would have been a whole different story because they freaking censored everything. It's stupid. Well, anyway, I'm gonna stop it here. Next one, I want to talk about my breakthrough with what they gave me with, you know, again, you have relapses, obviously, something like I think the body has to go through. I think it's a normal process of part of healing. And pretty much what they gave me to get better and how I'm able to, you know, like pretty much start anew. So yeah, guys, thanks again for staying tuned. I appreciate your time. Hope you've gotten some value out of this. I promise I'm almost done. I got like, I think 2 more chapters and then we'll call it that. All right, guys, thank you.